Cultists. Not the strongest unit when it comes to damage and durability, but a very strong impact on how your Chaos Force looks. The idea is to have these built fast, try things out, give some ideas and inspiration, mixing these cultists with other kits to make them look unique, and have all that done in a reasonable time frame. Apart from using various bits from various armies, I mostly used these two kits, Chaos Cultists and Ash Waste Nomads. And because my buddies and I played Darktide's new event, I might be heavily inspired by the ones you faced there. So let's build the mainframe of the miniature and debut them. I focus on 6 of these today and also 2 bonus ones for my Dark Apostle who needs 2 disciples. So let's start off strong with a gunslinger. The torso of a running nomad with the left original cultist's arm. The nomads have these hollowed out arm joints, which is perfect if you want to stick an arm into it, and if not, just fill it up with green stuff and you're good to go. And he also gets a head of a dead walker zombie. Why? Why not? I like my cultists to look a little bit sick, corrupted and maybe a little insane, and I think this one fits and gives the whole mob character right from the start. The second one was more of a try-hard, but first let me adjust my own color as I have collected enough sunlight today. That looks about right. I wanted to try if I could give him some shredded fabrics around him, just to see how it looks. After I tried it off camera, I realized that I had to cut away the shoulder joints a little. And I formed some green stuff that I lay around his neck and also tried to cover the sides of his torso with said green stuff. So he, again, looks like his cloth are ripped into shreds. I also tried to match the aesthetic of the other fabrics, shaping them a little bit sharper. To cover my honestly 5-minute craft here, I used some more green stuff and put it over his shoulders. That tied the miniature together, and after some more sculpting with a silicone sculpting tool and the backside of my knife, I got him a backpack and he was ready to be launched into battle. So, is it possible? Yes. Is it fun? Somehow. Is it worth for a unit with a 6-up save? I bet not. By the way, all these were built in just 1 hour. If I subtract the time where I rolled up some green stuff and searched the parts, I guess I can confidently say that most of these took under 5 minutes, which I think is a reasonable time frame. Number 3 is going to be some kind of a rager, 2 melee weapons and a good spirit. An original cultist buddy where I flattened out the right shoulder and also stirred the backer fight him with a clipper and a knife to clean up the mess. While he also still walked on, I tried to match the fabric on his shoulder so that I could cover the soon-to-be arm a little bit better. Which is a Skaven one. As this one looks like he skipped left arm day, I thought it is fitting to be a nice mutation. That's the fun part about these cultists. You can give them so much character with just giving them one strange piece. And I also gave him a small green hat. Obviously I didn't, he got the head of an Ash Waste Nomad, as I just like these helmets. Number 4 is this cyborg lady. Once again, the idea is to do something fast, and this one is already quite unique and outstanding. I thought she just might carry a small banner on her back. So green stuff to the back, a backpack onto it, sculpting some cables from the excess green stuff that went everywhere when I pushed in that backpack. Give her a sunscreen from the Ash Waste Nomads and we are ready to go. Number 5 will be a mutated one. First I remove the backpack knob of the coat and give this individual a tentacle. Nothing says corruption more than tentacles, and while I wasn't fond of sculpting one this time, I just used one of a chaos spawn here. I love to build stuff like this, and having a rope figure that is covering up maybe even more mutations is always really appealing to me. I also used some green stuff to cover up the joint between said tentacle and the rope. And for his right side, I decided that he is blessed enough and gave him an auto pistol of an original cultist. The only thing left to do here was to adjust it until I was happy and giving him a wastelander's head as well. I only removed these small, whatever these are, so he looks like a hooded figure who badly covers his mutations. Number 6 will be a leader figure. I first removed the head joint of him to have more freedom and gave him a Dark Oath's head and an OG cultist auto pistol for his left side. And again a Dark Oath right arm that's holding an axe. Because nothing says chaos more than an axe-wielding lunatic. And I again gave this one a small clothing treatment with a very thin stripe of green stuff to cover up the arm. And after that I removed his head and gave him another more menacing looking one. And by the way, if you made it up this far, I'd love to encourage you to leave a like and maybe a subscription, and if you already have it, try out the new hype function, as it really helps out. So the last build of the Pale Jackals was a Dark Apostle, and he also has 2 disciples. But I wanted these to look a little more religious, so I browsed eBay and came across someone who sold the Blood and Zeal kill team separately, and after 12 euros and 2 days later, they arrived. As you just saw, I only cut away the inquisitorial symbols, gave the first one a chaos staff and a small tentacle with a small bell on it, as it just looks cute, and went on with the second one. I wanted this one to look like he's being, let's call it, empowered by the dark gods. To cover up her face, I used an Iron Jaw shoulder trim that represented a plague bearer, and just glued it onto her head so it looks like a mask. And as she is already in a flying or levitating stance, I thought I'd just make her appear like she's being lifted up by some magic, and thought a chain that rips out of the ground and into her back will do the trick. By the way, what do you do with your leftover green stuff and milliput? I mostly form these into small rocks and give them an aluminium foil treatment. But anyway, for the painting I tried to match the rest of my Pale Jackals. I started with brown this time. So I used dark rust and burnt red and started wet blending these colors right onto the miniature to have some color variation right from the start. I also stippled on some parasite brown onto the lower parts of the coats to indicate some dirt. By the way, here's the green stuff stone again. After the first layer was dry, I went on with neutral grey and covered everything that was fabric, but leaving out the deepest recesses of the folds. And while doing that, I also carefully wet blended some wolf grey in there to highlight it even further. For the skin I used my trusted recipe of dark purple, Bugman's Glow and light flesh this time. The bigger the muscles, the brighter they get. I guess that's the best way to describe it at this point. I also like to mix these kits here, as it looks like the signs of an early cult, where the, let's call it, theme of the cult is not really clear. In my opinion, the normal cultists look a little bit too similar. It's like they tell each other, we worship chaos now, so none of us has to wear a shirt anymore, but in return we cover our faces with these gold masks. And I have to say, this is just a little bit unrealistic. For the metallics, I only tried to catch the edges of the weapons or this backpack here, so it leaves the browns underneath showing and indicates some strong rust. I used Pro Acryl's Dark Silver for that. For their face marks and some other fine details on these cultists, I used Pro Acryl's Dark Bronze. After that was done, I washed the metal parts with Vallejo's Game Mode Black and tinted some parts of the clothing with Vallejo's Game Wash Sepia. And while we're here, I would love to thank my amazing patrons for their continued support. I don't take that as granted, and I'm currently reworking that a little as the content had changed a bit, as well as posting Patreon and YouTube channel member only videos for people that are really interested in my painting style, answering some FAQs, and very importantly, painting whatever you want me to, chaos or not. The content here will obviously stay the same, it's just additional content. When that was done, I finished the robes and coats and whatever these girls and boys wear with Vallejo's white. That I just stippled on at all the parts the light would catch, assuming said light would come from top down. I have to say I already plan to build another cultist mob, maybe for the word bearers using House Kaldor. And what I would love to do is Night Lord cultists, but I have no idea how at this point. Once that's done, I used Pro Acrylic Jade and water to indicate the verdigris-like effect on the golden parts. If you saw other videos before this one, you may realize that I haven't done it twice this time, and that's because of the size and honestly amount of these guys. Saving one step for 20 dudes and dudettes is more time to cut this video. And after that I gave these ones a little more color and used Parasite Brown and Burnt Red to paint their pouches. When that was done, I stippled some highlights on the metallic parts using a very small amount of paint and a ruined brush. By the way, is it cultists or is it cultists? In German it's Cultisten. And for the last step, I went on with their eyes and tubes, painted these with gory red and a little bit of white at the most raised parts. So what do you think about this little mutated bunch? I think we can start to think about a lore for the Pale Jackals now. So if you have a cool headcanon, let me know. I'll post my idea tomorrow, but nothing is set in stone at this point. And the next one in this series will be finally Terminator number 4 and 5. And I am very curious how they will turn out compared to the first ones and how far I've come in this 3 months of doing this. So hopefully see you there and of course in the next one.